Humans are really interesting. I've noticed that there's things that are supposed to be purely for oneself, but humans will do a sort of performance. Note-taking is one of those things. Have you ever met someone and they're telling you how many hours per night they're studying, yet they seem dumb as a fucking doornail? Like, not a single complex thought inside that dumb-ass little head. They think they're fooling you. You smile, you nod along. They check your work, having not filled out their own, while filling out theirs. You don't call them out on copying your work, of course not. Because you don't want to cause a scene or anything. So you let it slide, you let it ride. They go on and on about how you just don't seem to study, how you still didn't get this. It's not like it's on your paper either. They go on and on about stories that so totally never fucking happened. Because if they did, it's terrible. They tell you all of these things. You can't tell fully what they mean by them. They'll be talking about a friend who has no self-respect for themselves because they have a tattoo. They seem really happy about being an abject failure or whatever. That's an insane thing to say about your best friend. They go on and on about how they, in less than 6 months, have gotten to 3rd degree black belt, all because they wanted to learn karate in order to prevent themselves from being able to be raped, because they really liked Law and Order, Special Victims Unit. Insane humans, honestly. They do all of that stuff. We'll even tell you that the only reason they're not a 4th degree black belt is because they happen to have not win against a pro wrestler. For them to get to their next stage, they have to fight a pro wrestler and win. So their scheduling conflicts, etc., with getting pros wrestlers to fight you, a karate person. Apparently, your eyes almost roll back into the back of your head as you hear all of that, and you think, why is my face being so rude right now? They're trying to talk about something. You go home and you remember, wow, none of that could have been true. That's stupid as hell. You say nothing. You confront them never. They show you their notes every single day, showing you how much they are trying. They tell you they spend 4 hours every day studying. There their notes are. There their textbook is. It is every single word almost highlighted. They said, I only highlighted the important parts. Not all of this is important. You know that. Because they've highlighted more words than there will be on all of the tests combined in one chapter. They have sat there and transcribed it, almost word for word. They are showing you, trying to convince you that, that they are intelligent because they used a lot of highlighter. It's beautiful. It's very pink. It's very pretty. I really appreciate the aesthetic of your notes. It's very adorable. Honestly, humans doing that is so awfully performative. Have you ever been sitting there and decided that every single word out of my mouth was so golden? You needed to write down every just uselessly wordy thing full of, verbosity or something? Did you really need to write it all down? Whenever let's say your chapter is 26 pages, you've got 30 pages of notes. Whenever your handwriting is so tiny you can't even read your notes, you wrote down everything the professor said. Worse, you were at the comfort of your own home, taking an online class, you were gonna Google everything. Why you take 30 pages of notes for chapter 1? No one would ever understand, because you're gonna Google it. If you are going to Google it, why are you taking 30 pages of notes? Because the reason you take notes performatively is either to convince everyone else that you're trying harder than they are. Hey, this is test-taking anxiety. They should think you are the bee's fucking knees. Your grades actually do not reflect who you are. Or you want everyone to think you tried your fucking best. That's all you could fucking be. They should continue to pay your godforsaken rent while you do fucking nothing. Would you like to convince everyone that you have a functional IQ of 60? You take 30 pages of notes, don't ya? You cry about dead people from what, 2 decades ago? Or some kind of trauma from your elementary days. Say why you have never been able to catch up in life. You were dealt a bad hand, maybe as a baby. Instead of taking accountability, you actually like being seen as stupid or mentally unwell enough to need to be taken care of, like an invalid. That may sound terrible. We are talking about someone who weaponizes helplessness and fake claims of mental illness, usually, and low IQ, which in my opinion, low IQ is a type of disability. It is a type of disability. When you sit there, little mortals, little humans, you pretend to be stupid in order to have others cater to you. You are performing a disability. It is unfair. High IQ doesn't get you very far in life. There's only a certain amount of high IQ that actually leads to any level of enhanced life. At a certain point, it actually doesn't do any more. Like, having a higher and higher IQ doesn't take you higher and higher in life. It can sometimes put a target on your back. It isn't great. Having a really low IQ means you're not able to play with a full deck. I'm not saying this out of cruelty. I am saying it, though, out of frustration. If you see someone sitting there doing performative note-taking, if they are doing the amount of notes to try to convince you at the end that that's all they could have done and that they couldn't have done better, what they're doing is they're playing you. Because they could have Googled that. They probably did Google. They probably calculated that if they failed hard enough and they cried enough, you wouldn't point. You would think that that's all they were capable of. They think that they're a genius because they're playing you. You're gonna pay their bills, you're gonna support them, you're gonna care about them. That doesn't sound terrible. Either people are wanting to be cared for long enough to achieve things, possibly, or they're just wanting the handout for as long as possible. They think that if they show you that they tried and they failed, or that they tried and let them try again, they get to both stop the inevitable, which is they have to carry themselves. They have to go out there and do for themselves. That might be a crazy statement. Where there is almost the entire textbook highlighted, where there is 30 pages of notes pretty much per chapter, there is a manipulation. Either they want you to think that they are stupid, or they just want you to think that they are a bad test taker, because maybe they are stupid. Maybe if these people spent less time manipulating you, they could develop the skills. Taking 30 pages, highlighting all of that, pretending to be studying for 4+ hours a night in order to fool their families, is a lot of effort for lies. It is a lot of work to lie that they feel as though they have fooled you. They are so smart for doing it. It is almost laughable in the end how humans do this. Now, I can't say I'm human. After all, I never really was treated like a human. It's just something I've observed, that humans are really funny. Some of them take their notes, not for themselves, for those around them. It's not about them understanding It's about proving to you that they're trying, that they're listening, that they're doing what you say as a professor maybe as an educator. Maybe they're complying with what you want. It's just simply an act that they do in order to show that compliance. I'll leave it at that and wish you all a very farewell.